Hey you guys, welcome to today's episode of Math with Morris. I'm your host, Miss Morris, and today we're going to be talking about the least common multiples. So welcome to lesson 1.5. Come along with me. Let's take a little walk over here. So the last lesson we worked on was our greatest common factor, and we're going to start off by talking about our least common multiple. So what is a multiple? Well, you actually learned about this in the 4th grade. So factors, like a factory, factors are the building blocks. So the numbers that when you multiply them, they equal whatever that given number is. So multiples and factors are kind of easily confused. Multiples are the numbers you get when you multiply that given number. So if I have the number 8, for example, the factors of 8 are 1 times 8, 2 times 4. So the factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4, and 8. These are the factors. They are smaller, like a factory. They make up that number. Now, the multiples of 8 are when you multiply that 8, what are you getting? So 8 times 1 would be 8. So the first multiple of any number is itself. This is a common mistake for some reason that a lot of people make. They don't include the actual number. I don't know why. So make sure when you are listing multiples that you include whatever that number is times 1. That's your first multiple. Times 2 would be 16. Times 3 would be 24. Times 4 would be 32, 40, and so on. So we keep going, keep going, keep going. These are the multiples of a number. So the factors are smaller than the number. They're the ones that you multiply in factor pairs to get to the number. And the multiples are when we multiply that actual number. Okay? We're good? We're Gucci? So now let's talk about the least common multiple. So we're going to look at the numbers 4 and 6, and kind of similar to the process we did with greatest common factor, we're going to list out the multiples and we're going to see which one is the least of those common multiples. So I'm going to use the listing strategy. This strategy is just called listing, nothing fancy, just like what it looks like. And we're going to list the multiples of 4 and 6. So the first multiple of 4, do you remember? Right, it would be 4. And go ahead and give me the next 4 multiples of 4. All right, so you should have gotten 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 5 is 20. Now let's take a look at the number 6. So find the first 5 multiples of 6. All right, so you should have gotten 6 times 1 is 6. That's an important first multiple. Then we have 12, 18, 24, 30. So we're going to look and double check between these two lists here to compare and see if we find any multiples in common. And the first one that I'm noticing, not 4, not 6, not 8, but actually 12. So since we're looking for the least of the common multiples, the least common multiple of 4 and 6 would be 12. It's as easy as that. So let's try out another problem. Let's say that I am trying to find the least common multiple of 10 and we'll do 25. Go ahead and try this one out. All right, so I'm going to list out the multiples of each number. So we have the first multiple of 10 is 10 times 1, 10 times 2, 10 times 3, 10 times 4, 10 times 5. We're going to do the same thing with 25. 25 times 1, 25 times 2, 25 times 3. I'm just going to keep going until I find a number that is the same, that they have in common, until we have a multiple that's in common. And actually, if you look right here, you can see that 50 is the common multiple, the least of these common multiples. So the answer would be 50. 50 is the least common multiple of 10 and 25. Let's take another little walk over here, shall we? And let's take a look at a word problem. So this is an example of a type of word problem that you're probably going to be seeing on a quiz coming up. It says one firefly flashes every 8 seconds. Don't mind my little drawing. So 8 seconds. And another firefly flashes every 10 seconds. Both of them just flashed. After how many seconds will they flash at the same time again? So what are you thinking? How would we solve this kind of word problem? Right, so we need to find out what that least common multiple is to figure out after how many more seconds they're going to flash at the same time again. So if firefly A is flashing every 8 seconds, then I'm going to list out the multiples of 8. So let's say 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, and I can keep going if I need to. Now let's take a look at firefly B. So firefly B flashes every 10 seconds. So I'm going to list the multiples of 10. 10 times 1 is 10, 10 times 2 is 20, 30, 40. Ooh, I saw 40 somewhere. That's right. 40 is my least common multiple. So after 40 more seconds, they're going to flash at the same time again.